Welcome to Hope is Not a Strategy, the podcast for real strategy makers. My name is Christian Underwood, and in the conversation with real strategy makers, we want to debug the myth of strategy and show how you can win with strategy work in this volatile times. And for this, I welcome today Pedro Stark, founder and chairman of the consulting company CW1 and inventor and board member of the AI-based strategy software gotely. Welcome to our podcast, Pedro.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Before we start, I introduce you to our audience. Pedro, you hold several degrees from universities in Porto, Göteborg, and Lund in music, composition, and performance. You started your career as a musician, but after 6 months of joining an orchestra, you decided you go to one of the big four consulting companies and work as a strategy consultant and business development manager. After that, you worked as a CTO and board member in several companies before you founded the consulting company CW1 in Göteborg with offices in Tokyo, Portugal, Sweden, and the Philippines. And just, I think, 4 weeks ago, you launched gotely. Gotely, the first AI-based strategy software revolutionizing and democratizing strategic decision-making in complex business landscapes. Pedro, can you provide an overview of gotely and what inspired you to create the first AI-based strategy software?
Yeah, absolutely, Christian. Basically, when we used to work for the Big Four, both me and my wife, which is as well a founder of CW1, we're not dealing with small companies. And after the Big Four, I've been in a couple, as you mentioned, I've been interim CTO of a couple of companies, and I've been on strategic planning. And I noticed the founders, they didn't know how to strategic plan. They would see an idea and they would say, okay, let's go for this. And I was like, but this is not the right strategic move to do. We are not even working within a framework, and that would be the problem because they would not validate their ideas to the point of coming to the market and assure the successability and the feasibility of the idea. And that's decided to me to say, okay, it's time to actually change that, and we started focusing on CW1 on this segment of the market. But the problem is it takes us too much time to deal with meetings with clients, and sometimes just to say this is not feasible, we would have to have a 30 minutes to 1 hour meeting. So we said, no, let's digitalize this and let's create an AI model that can say that to our clients so that we can actually reduce the procedural processes that we have within CW1 and actually move forward because we have more things to do, especially when it comes to financial scenarios or market research. It takes us too much time. So we prefer to focus on that rather than sitting in half-hour meetings to say to the clients, yes, it's feasible.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. And that connects me really well with you because I had the same feeling. So created something else with our StartegyFrame, but we're like-minded in making it more efficient and effective using strategy all over. So who is the target group for gotely, and how does it cater the strategic needs of that target group?
On the first glance, if a person goes into gotely, we'll understand that the main group that we focus is startups, and the entrepreneur who just started now doesn't know the terms, doesn't know where to start, and maybe read here or there in startups.com or Y Combinator, yes, you need to do this and validate your idea, but they don't know how to do it. So we decided, okay, let's make the application completely free for this target group, and we offer that part of the idea validation to them for free, so that they can come along. Then, of course, we focus as well in the guys who have already passed the thing, have their product, but they are not getting traction or want to set up the mechanisms in the company in order to grow. And that's where with the other two parts of gotely comes. That one is a monitoring system where we divide their companies and their focus areas in 8 different areas, and we coordinate and help them setting up the systems in these 8 different areas of the framework. And then we have as well the capital raiser, where we help them actually establishing the pitch deck, the scenario projections, the P&Ls, and all the financial instruments that are necessary to show to investors, and even help them because we have a network of investors and ventures behind us, and we help them connecting them by knowing, okay, if you do this, your probability will be 10% higher rather than if you don't. So please include this in your meeting pitch so that the investor knows. Because, for example, one case that happened to us, we got a pitch where the projection financial was 2 columns with 8 cells of quarter 1 of 2024, quarter 2, and we were like, what is this? It doesn't work. And of course, we needed more, and it needs more. And that's what we do with the capital raiser. And basically, totally, it's for this. We are developing actually a new thing, which is a Signals. It's a platform that is aware to news and websites of the competitors, and when it benchmarking, and actually gives automated signals saying, hey, your competitor on your last benchmarking analysis is up to this on this business model. Maybe you should be aware. And we are developing, and we're going to release that within 2 weeks from now on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for give us that look into your innovation pipeline. So it doesn't stop. So you're still adapting to market needs. But why do you think this or the product gotely is not working? And I'm thinking of German clients, and German Mittelstand because you worked for a few of them, and could they use also gotely?
Yes and no. That's the thing. We want with gotely to create a relationship with them, and we want to understand that if they want something on the general side, because German clients and German entrepreneurs, they are 2 different persons, I would say.
Okay.
German guy who is himself and thinking about progressing, and the German guy who is actually thinking on the company. And at the same time, it's the same person. So we have a person that in the morning, as soon as he wakes up or goes to bed, is on social media and is on ChatGPT exploring the things, but the same person during the day sitting at the table and on multiple meetings and actually being very precautious about his IP and the way he does things. So we want him to realize, okay, I have this tool that I can play in the morning when I wake up and when I go to bed. It gives me some ideas, some new things. But during the day, I want actually to reach through CW1 and talk to them because I need more things, and I know that they will protect my data and they will not put it on the algorithm for others to use. So yes, the German can use it as well, but to understand that it's a big process. It's not one single process, that it's not just a tool play and it's going to work. It actually needs to talk more.
Is that a special German thing, you would say?
A little bit. I don't like to label people, but
yeah, absolutely. But you see how many subscribers do you have on your software? So where do they come from?
Yes, we reached actually yesterday the meta of 800 subscribers, which is quite a lot.
Cool.
From of them, it's already 200 are premium subscribers, which is good. And I would say when we look at the data, 10% are German, which is quite surprising. But
you see.
when looking at their behavior, it's what I told you. They are playing with the tool and still evaluating where it goes. Our self-learning process, because our validation was done in a very speed time, and we're learning, okay, this is what people want to see, or this is what people understand. Maybe we should simplify this or that. That's why we are still learning with them as well. But German market, DACH market in general, it's always a special market because there's always people worried with our IP, and I cannot do this here, otherwise they will come and steal our ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. But where does the data that you're using come from, and where is it located, and how you're working, or the model that you also developed? How does it work?
Basically, while me and my wife, we were on a long consulting project away from CW1. our sister-in-law, which managed operations in Philippines and actually in all world US. She has been doing a lot of market research and studies and actually studies and benchmark studies. So we gathered for the period of 2 years, plus in the conjunction with some of the bigger partners that we have, because we still work with our own employers. We still have access to their data, and they were kind enough to actually say, okay, what you're doing, it's awesome. Here's a huge tranche of data. So we arrived in October 2022, and we have 500 TBs of financial data, business model data, market study, market research, analysis. And of course, we said, okay, we have enough data to train an algorithm and a model and forward, and we start developing, conceptualizing a model. And we arrived in March, and we said, okay, the model is ready, we can use it.
Okay, so for any industry, or do you have some special fields?
We focused mostly on the beginning on tech as an industry, specifically SaaS and e-commerces, and then this jumped us immediately to fashion retail, because fashion retail industry, it's quite interesting, especially with the new business model of the D2C, that everyone wants to follow that, and it's quite interesting to actually train an algorithm on that. And then, of course, health, it's part of our favorites, and we started going with health, then energy, and we start broadening up. But we mostly like to focus on these 4 sectors: SaaS, tech, fashion retail, health, and energy sector, because it's the sectors that have the most challenges, I would say.
Yeah, okay. Are you using, because you have a SaaS model in the end, isn't it? And are you using your own tool?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay, really cool.
We have quite a few on trial modules that we don't release on the normal thing. And yes, we are using, especially when it comes to gathering signals of market, because we have part of the work we do towards our clients. It's actually to provide insights based on signals that we get on the market and predict castings. And we have a module that we have been training, sort of, let's call him a robot, that tells, okay, this is about to happen, be careful, or this is might happen in 2 months. For example, today in the morning when I read the news and I saw that Biden is considering the threat of Putin quite real, and at the same time dictator to Xi Jinping, I already quite predicted that would happen. Even if Anthony Blinken on Monday was like, yeah, we are friends again, I was already quite assuring that would happen, and this will have actually economic repercussions, because it's somehow related with few trade routes that come from the products of China into US. And we got this signal already last week. That's why we knew, okay, this might happen. And our clients that were affected with this, and they are enterprise members of gotely, they were informed immediately this might happen. So take the precautionary preventions in order to avoid this. So yeah, we use gotely on the part of enterprise grade level, because we have more software behind. It can't be allowed to everyone. Otherwise, it's a problem, because the normal startup will start getting this and will get lost in this process. And that's not good for someone who needs to focus on one thing, validating their idea and create a proof of concept out of it. That's why we're not liberating this to the normal user.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, and our software is also guiding people through the software, or guiding them through the strategy process. And but looking at the competition, are you seeing new AI strategy software startups?
Yes, the thing is, I don't consider anyone a competitor. I don't like when people think in competitors. It's really like, why are you competing with someone when you can actually learn, work together, and actually grow together? And
absolutely, that's why I gave you a call. So
yes, Christian, honestly, after this call, we will have more talks, because I spent a few times actually looking into StartegyFrame. I would like what you did there, to be honest, because the concept, it's quite good.
Thank you.
We have quite synergies to collaborate and actually do
Yeah.
Because one thing that it was quite funny. I was yesterday talking with someone on LinkedIn, and it was like, "Yeah, I want to be chief of sales of CW1," and I told him, "We don't do sales," and he got like, "Huh? You don't do sales?" No, the only thing we sell the mostly it's through gotely. Other than that, we do a thing called business development, and we create business opportunities where we share revenues with our partners. It's normal business of going and selling to someone.
Absolutely.
And the concept of CW1, we developed partnerships and we grow through partnerships. And I don't like when people say competitors. So
absolutely, I'm totally with you. But a lot of people, and especially in Germany, I faced that because there's some software providers in the market, also with really good stuff, but they're not sharing something. They want everything for their own, becoming the next big thing. So, and I think strategy is there's so many elements. There's the process, there's the analyzing data, there is, let's say, target management with OKRs, etc. So it's so much stuff that cannot one company cover everything. So that's impossible.
That's why I'm answering to your question. If I see AI softwares, I don't go and compete with them. I can quickly a benchmarking analysis of them and see their weaknesses and actually compete. But instead, I contact them and say, "Hey guys, let's work together. Why are we not talking to each other when we can work together?" One of the financial instruments that people forget in order to raise a company, it's actually mergers and acquisitions.
Absolutely.
And it's mergers. People don't understand that this is essential to grow a company. This is part of what I see. So answering to your question, if I see someone doing the same, guys, let's talk. I'm not here to compete with you. I'm not here to steal your clients. I'm here to actually work with you and make it bigger.
Absolutely, and I think the market, looking at it from a global point of view, but also in the DACH region, it's so huge, and there's so many companies who are already not doing strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the point. It's also then not competing with classical consulting companies, huh? So it's not that. It's a different market.
Honestly, when I show the pricing per project that we have with the partners, when it's time that I told them, okay, this is your revenues, but we want a part of the project revenues. It's how much I feel it's fair to us. And they say, yeah, but we used to work with the Big Four and it was 5-6 times more than this. I was like, yes, I know. I used to work with as well. And I knew how would I charge if I was still there. But here, I say this is a fair price. It's quite nice. And I'm not even charging you for the services I render. I'm charging you for the profits I render to you. And that it makes all the difference. And yes,
absolutely. That's a total different story.
I feel that the big conception that we still have to do is it's not only the Big Four who do it, because most of the people we used to work for Big Fours, we got out and we started our own things. And that's the new challenge. It's actually to show people that it doesn't belong only to the Big Four anymore.
Absolutely.
We are all doing it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And that's why we're also focusing, we're also trying to build a community of strategy makers that help, because sometimes it's not only software and people have, especially when they're not in a young startup situation, but a little bit more grown up companies. So when they need more trust. And I think there are some people that are not trusting software and not trusting AI, maybe a special German thing. But then you need some trustworthy people who explain it to them, but not ripping them off as a consultant and coaching them to use the stuff. That's the idea. Yeah.
Exactly. Totally agree. Because honestly, if I wouldn't go when I used to work at my old employer, and I cannot discuss publicly, my hour was going by 250 euros an hour minimum if it was a light project. I'm like, that's too much. My hour nowadays, it goes by 150 and it's already too much. It's not even necessary so much. And that's what I want to show people with Gotely. And was what I was trying to explain you.
Sure.
They can go with a tool, but once they need that level of trust, we are open. We even released today a chat functionality that they can just click and one of the strategy consultants will answer to them on the spot.
Okay, not a chatbot, a real person.
Yeah, a real person.
Okay, cool.
Get a notification on their team channel, and they will actually go directly and answer to the customer in real time, which is completely free. And it's quite something that it's a great help for entrepreneurs. It's for them, it's quite, here it is. Just enjoy the expertise.
Just use it. Yeah.
We are here to help you because we need more innovation in the world. For example, you are in German. One thing from the time I used to work as a CTO in Germany, one thing that I battle all the time was still using Java in every possible system in Germany, especially when it was to report to state entities using Java and really dinosaur technologies. And I was like, why are they doing that when we have in the market way more innovation and it's not being used? And they said, no, we always have done it like that and we'll be doing it like that. Because it's a door that says, okay, but you're not following up with the global evolution. And when we look at the macro trends that go around, we see that the German market is not evolving so fast as, for example, the Nordic market when it comes to innovation. And this needs to change. And it goes all from strategists that say, look at the trends, change your opinion, trust more technology, move forward.
And talking about trends, and we see things coming up now, and some are adopting, and still some companies are still trying to go for the old business model. And that's a big problem. But I think starting or experimenting with new things. Maybe it's a German thing, but just in an engineering point of view, not as a tech IT thing, what they're doing, and finding new business model in that sense. So you see the Nordics, before that US for sure, and also in Asia, because you also have some offices there. So, and they're not looking about data privacy and things like that, huh?
I think the most problem of the Germans are being afraid of going into the gray area.
This uncertainty.
Yes, talking about a little bit about health, German health sector, for example.
Yes.
There's huge regulation that is necessary, and there's the constant fear. If I break it, the general attorney will come after me. There's always this fear.
Yeah.
But there's also a gray area. And sometimes it's okay to be in the gray area, to try things. If the state approves, sure, let's innovate. And that's why, for example, in the past, during COVID, talking with the DEMIS system, the reporting system, was a huge challenge for all the new guys that said, okay, we have now a COVID testing software for pharmacies. We want to include this in the pharmacies. But to connect that, there were still people like Telecom and other bigger players saying, no, you need to use Java or use this archaic. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And this is a problem. I feel that it's actually a business opportunity. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Because there are paths to people say, okay, but let's look at the regulation. What is necessary? ISOs 13485, 13045, 13175, all the medical ISOs. Let's look at this. What they require, even what does the FDA in the US require? Okay, is it according to their compliance? Let's consult with an auditor to check it's compliant. It's approved. Move forward, and new business models come up. If we just lose the grip of saying we really need to be always under the regulation, maybe we need to find a loophole on the regulation, the gray area, to actually proceed to do new business models. And that's actually the future. I've seen in the past 8 months, and probably happened to you as well, Christian, we saw companies going completely bankrupt and mass layoff all over the world, and for one single reason. And this is the problem nowadays. People are not adjusting to new business models. They are going towards the old one. I see so many people on LinkedIn still sending messages and saying, hey, we are doing this and selling this, and this is our outsourcing model. I don't want outsource. I have my own BPO in Philippines. Why do I need outsource your services? I have my guys there or my guys in Portugal that do it. So would they even contact me? Or moreover, Germans and Nordics and Benelux and even US, they have all developers in house. So why would they outsource? That business model is clearly doomed, and it's clearly not going forward. It needs a revolution. And that's what people miss, that they need to look at these new things of innovation in order to go forward. And GDPR, I can tell you as well, our company, our legal department, it's actually leading with a lot of cases of our clients that want to sue someone for data breach because people are not respecting GDPR, and that is ruining their business model. But GDPR itself, clause 97 says, the country regulation overlaps GDPR, actually. And this is the loophole, and it's possible to actually do multiple things within this loophole. And that's what people need to understand. It's even possible to develop business models around this loophole.
Yeah, absolutely. But do you have a concrete tip, let's say, for strategists and business owners, how they can effectively leverage AI models? So I have this discussions now in each and every strategy workshop. They see AI, it's big now, it's becoming big, but what we're going to do and what is the first step that you would recommend?
The first step is to stop ignoring ChatGPT as the Bible and was trained on the global data and not on specific cases or on specific market trends. Then my recommendation is every company should immediately invest in developing their own AI model or fine-tuning an AI model to increase and make more efficient their internal operations and procedures. AI is not a Bible that will give you the answer to how to become rich overnight. That doesn't exist.
Yeah, even when you read it on TikTok, that works.
That never works. There's no method of getting rich overnight. OpenAI didn't get rich overnight. They had 100 million financing from Elon Musk and Microsoft. That doesn't happen overnight. People need to understand that.
Yeah.
But it's a tool that can actually improve the procedures of the company. And if they have a strategy already with a defined framework of procedures and reporting and how to do things within the organization, AI makes streamlines the process so fast
dramatically,
that the corporation, instead of growing at a rate growth of, let's say, 5 to 10% every year, can grow suddenly 40 to 50% with the help of AI if they learn how to use AI properly.
Absolutely. And now we're at the end of the podcast. So I have one last question for you. Lastly, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs or innovators looking to create their own AI-based software model? So how can they do it? What is the step? Because you already did it.
First, and I myself nowadays, I try to not be so much into coding, but sometimes I still have to go and some of the projects. But the first step is to warn them, be ready to knock your head in the wall many times, because it's a new world, it's complex, it's advanced, understanding what is NLP, what is semantic analysis, what is sentimental analysis, clusterization, and all these conceptions. It's quite tough to learn. But once they get it, the possibilities are innumerous. And it's not getting rich overnight, but it's creating organizations and entities and business models that will work, because the AI will make sure that everything is running smoothly. And even when it comes to bug tracking and making sure if there are gaps in the process, the AI can recommend that. And that is really something unique to make the processes and ideas to come forward and be successful. So my advice to the normal entrepreneur that wants to use AI, it's actually don't go for ChatGPT. That's not going to work. Integrating a ChatGPT on an application, if it's not for text, it's not the proper model. ChatGPT has to generate text. But if it's to develop like a BERT model or distill BERT, these kind of models that were really fine-tuned in semantic sentimental analysis and all the polarization of nodes and this kind of hard concepts, they actually streamline the processes for us. For example, made us actually optimize the way to, okay, this is the market, this is the size, this is our idea, how much feasible it is. And this wasn't possible before without
possible.
researching how to do this. And we streamline that. We do that, and in 10 seconds we get this answer, which is quite incredible. And it's all about AI. So my advice is that research, be prepared. It's tough, but the rewards are even more rewarding. So just go for it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Pedro, for your time and for sharing those great ideas. And I'm really looking forward. I'm really curious what you're launching in the next weeks, I would say, or days. It's not like that you're launching it in 1 year. So and it's still developing, and I'm really looking forward. And looking forward of how we can more cooperate maybe with the strategy frame. And I think when you're talking especially about that thing, situation analysis, market potentials and competitors analysis, so people are struggling and we're trying to get them step by step in the workflow. But if there's an AI model and they're just putting the data and get it in like this, that would be perfect.
Yes, exactly, Christian. I'm always open for collaborations. That's the thing. And I'm always
really
open
cool.
to talk. I don't see others as competitors. I see them as partners.
Me too. Thank you very much, Pedro. Goodbye.
Goodbye.